Shine Armor sent me. Their makes trim and plastic look like new. Plastic restorer. So I'm going to give this a shot on some of the faded pieces, trim pieces on the exterior of my truck. I mean, it's over 10 years old now, so some of them pieces could use restoration. As well as this waterless wash, shine and protect. This is right here. Spray onto a clean, damp microfiber cloth and onto the surface you are cleaning. Approximately 3 feet by 3 feet. Gently wipe the surface with the first pre-wetted folded microfiber cloth. Quickly switch to a clean folded dry microfiber cloth and buff off remaining haze before it dries. And then repeat this until the vehicle is clean. Saw that and was kind of interested because it's promoted as a waterless wash. Haven't tried one of those out yet, so we're going to give that a shot today on a fairly dirty vehicle. Alright, so this is my son's car. Generally, I'd say it's probably not the best idea for detailing to clean something so directly dirty and just start wiping on it, because it's probably likely to scratch the clear coat. Knowing that, I should do this with caution, but again, this is my son's car and his car is currently damaged and I'm in the process of trying to fix it. Just to give you a peek, you can see he's rocking the spare tire right now, but you can see the car door has some damage, so that's why I'm trying it out on this. So I'm gonna run the blue one is going to be the wet one that gets the cleaner, and my yellow one will be my dry one that I'll be using to buff. So I'm going to go straight on the directions on the side of the bottle. Spray it on the cloth. And okay, and it says to dry it before it dries, wipe it with the other cloth. Okay. And I can feel, when you're working with such a smooth surface, you can feel it just gliding. I can feel it. Yeah, you can see how much crap I took off. Granted, it did take some off with the dry cloth as well, but okay. I mean, it's still pretty good. I feel a little bit still feels just a little bit grainy, but granted, this paint and clear coat wasn't perfect when I started this project, so yeah, I mean, that's still pretty darn good. You can see you can see the reflection, like, it is a pretty good, as advertised. Since, then you do that and then you just repeat this process until the entire vehicle's clean. So you can just go through using a bottle, and it's advertised as a waterless wash, and I'd say it lives up to the name. I mean, let me see if I can get some light over here, if we can spot any really noticeable areas. It's pretty good. Like I said, it's for a waterless wash. I don't know that I'd want to go through washing a car this way, this dirty, but if you got a light duty job, you can see how bad this car's been sitting for so long. So like I said, I probably wouldn't want to do this for a full car wash this dirty, but if you had a light duty job that was something, I don't know, maybe you're just like a couple weeks between car wash or something, you got a light dust buildup or a light dirt buildup, you're parked in the garage, maybe you don't want to pull out the car, just want to give it a wipe down. I mean, That's not a bad job, in my opinion. Let's try out the trim stuff now, the plastic restore. Looking at the bottle, looks like it might be for interior and specifically, and not exterior like I initially mentioned. But let's give it a shot, see how it goes. Clean the surface. All right, I wiped it down with the microfiber. Apply it evenly on the surface of the plastic parts, especially the one with heavy dirt. Cleaning the stains with a soft brush and wet cloth. All right, adding some on. See, got a little bit on there. See how it goes. I do see difference, in the kind of depth of the color. I don't know if it comes through on the camera exactly, but obviously there's still some light scratching and whatnot. It didn't fix all that, but yeah, the black looks deeper to me. So yeah, it did help in that sense. I do think it did make a difference. In the washless system that they offered in the spray bottle, I thought that worked out really well. But yeah, if you guys want to get either, I'll put links in the description. If you guys got any questions or comments, let me know. So mine was damaged. Because of the rust buildup, that would indicate that it's probably been damaged for a while, so the damage is probably from how it was stored. I will say it was considerably heavier than I thought it would be, never having a tool cart before, and they didn't even take the package all the way to the front door. They just dropped it in front of my driveway. It was on its side. But yeah, let's also see. So it's got the four wheels. The two near the front, they don't move, articulate, or adjust in any way. They steer from the rear wheels, which also have the locks, which do feel pretty firm and secure, if I do say so. But yeah, something to note. It does have this handle here, which was one of the few pieces that I had to assemble. 4 wheels on the bottom, 4 bolts for each, and then the handle here, 4 more bolts total. Here, and here. That was all the assembly required, so that's something to note. To take advantage of this stuff, I don't know if they sell specific accessories for their tool cart. Maybe they have some kind of unique offset on the sizing for this, because any pegs that I bought, pretty standard size, so these ones do not fit. You can see the spacing's off. This guy just to see. So, as convenient as it appeared to sound, it is actually not useful at the moment. I might have to figure out if they do sell something separate for these. It's on both sides of the cart. I know they also make, not necessarily this brand, but just in general, I know they make those like magnetic shelvings that you could stick to the tool cart, which this should be able to take advantage of. This is a metal side here. Top side's a hard plastic, by the way. I don't know if that's coming across. Actually, take that back. This part is. Let's see. the top side is metal here, but the cups and the guards on the side are hard plastic. It does have the hard plastic on the sides here. There's a little bumper guard. So for the shelves, we're listing top side 100 kg, which translate to, I'll put on the screen what it is in pounds. And each of the individual shelves they have listed at 40 kg, which the small as well as the two bottom shelves that are larger are both rated for the 40 kg. That's that, and I'll give it a shot, see how I like it. So far, it seems like it's going to do the trick. It definitely helped me get some homes for some tools that I just had stacking up, building up all over the place. Starting to need a better setup, so this provides that. If you guys want to pick one up, I'll put a link in the description. Suzume sent me these flexible head ratcheting wrenches. And so I don't have a set, but I gave them a shot. Currently I've just been running these Pittsburghs that I got from Harbor Freight, but they don't have the flex head, and there's been a couple of instances where I felt like that would have been quite convenient. This is how they came. If you have a pegboard or something, you could just mount them in the rack that it comes with. Here's what they look like. I don't have tons of experience with a variety of different brands and their tools, but I will say that it does feel very sturdy and heavy duty, and especially in comparison to just my regular Pittsburgh one here. I know that this Pittsburgh brand isn't exactly considered premium in the world of wrenches, but and I know people are very hesitant on getting a lot of these imported brands, these foreign brands, with concerns on quality, which I'm going to be very critical of that as well. But since they reached out and offered this set, and I don't have one, I figured why not. The ratcheting is 72T, so there doesn't seem to be like a lot of play. I was going to say that it feels pretty solid. The clicks feel pretty solid as it's passing through. There's a little bit of play though, which again isn't not super odd or super detrimental to the use or function of it, but the play, just, I know that could possibly create breakdown a little bit sooner than we would like, just because obviously if you're wrenching on this thing and there's a little bit of play, you're creating that gap, that space for you to just slam into the teeth there on the head. So I mean, it could cause some premature wear, I'm sure, but still worth giving it a go. Pretty sturdy. I mean, it inspires confidence that this won't snap if I put some weight into it. But yeah, they sent me out these two, the metric and the standard sizes, just so you could see. 12-piece flexible for ratcheting set. Yeah, 72 gear heads, like I mentioned. I was trying to find one that had 90, but then this is who reached out and followed up with me. So high hardness, high torque, rust resistant, long service life, and the ratchet head 180 degrees. So you can see here's what the standard ones come with, the different sizes, and then here's the metrics. So if you wanted to see which ones there are in the pack. Yeah, I'm gonna give these a shot. I usually use my flex head on the socket wrench, but like I said, there's been instances where this, shallower flexible wrench head would have definitely come in handy as opposed to a socket that's, sticking out. We'll see what Suzume does or how they hold up. I'll let you guys know and update you if I get any breaks. Maybe that's what I'll start doing as I get some of this stuff. I'll give like a, quality update or breakage update, or almost like a where are they now, VH1 style. You reviewed this thing 6 months ago. Do you still have it? But yeah, if you got questions or comments, leave them below. I'll leave a link if you guys want to pick one up. Check it out for yourself. Bug King sent me this kit. You can see here, car wash cannon, the Snapster for the power washer, a couple of assorted accessories as far as looks like a wash mitt and a microfiber. Let's take these guys out. Connectors. Strips are good for the power washer that I'll put on. So that's everything that came in the kit. Throw it together, give it a try, see how it works out. So here's my connection. Using this Walmart Hyper Tough pressure washer. This is the gun it comes with, but you can use the snub. So you see, I'm going to have to use, oh yeah, and I put on the quick connect right up here on the nozzle. I have to use one of the adapters at the bottom here on the base so I can get this to connect. Using my Suzume ratcheting wrench. It's got the quick connector up the top on the snubster, and my adapter here that's applicable for my setup. And I'll go plug this. I'll go get this plugged in on brush washer. But yeah, one more thing for the setup. I did put the little hose here. This is pretty straightforward. This will go on here. I'm going to use, I went to Walmart and just picked up this foam spray already. Microfiber that came with this. It's about, I don't know, 1 foot by 1 foot. The wash mitt comes in the bag. It's got on the side of the mitt kind of a little bit of an abrasive edge so that you can get maybe some of the tougher stuff that's on the car that's not easy to scrub off. So obviously we're going to use the manufacturer recommendations for the soap in here. Should be able to use the quick connect now. Quick disconnect, and any attachment I want for rinsing. So that's the idea. Pretty straightforward stuff. Shout out to Foam King for letting me test out this unit and review it.
So this is my first foam cannon, so I don't know if this is standard across the board, but I did like the quick disconnect that they offered on the snubster attachment for the pressure washer. It just made switching between rinsing and then spraying with the foam cannon so much easier. So that was a nice plus. Something else that I forgot to mention was with the foam cannon that there is an adjustable nozzle, so you can change between more of a jet stream coming out versus more of a shower, I guess you could call it, where it spreads the foam a little bit more liberally than just the straight shot jet stream. So again, that's a nice little feature. In case my hose on the pressure washer wasn't long enough, it allowed me to reach in some places that were a little bit out of reach by just switching to the jet. So again, nice little feature there. The wash mitt was decent. I used primarily the scrubbing side. I did like the seam that had kind of the abrasive edge where you can scratch stuff a little bit. It would be nice if it was just a little bit bigger, because then you could kind of easily just rock your hand over into that, but generally it was pretty easy to use. I was pretty happy with the Walmart soap that I got for the foam cannon. It was like $4 or $5 or something. So yeah, I would recommend that too. There was obviously some much more expensive alternatives, but I opted to just try this, and pretty glad I did.
Quick detailing tip: if you have sap on your car, like I do, isopropyl alcohol. There you go. Nice spot of sap. See it start to move. Remove it. There you go.
I know that there's a way to make things better. I know that there's a way to make things right. Been pointing fingers here.